Yes, boys, back again. Um, there's been a lot going on in the last 24 hours, so I I've got to come out this morning, take a break from my overnight oats that my beautiful wife cooked for me, and I've got to talk about Shadowboxer, and I've got to. Um, Shadowboxer versus Bash. Listen, me and Shadowboxer have had issues, may I say, recently. I'm not going to make a video bashing Shadowboxer. I'm not jumping on the train. I'm not trying to get fucking views based off beef. This isn't what this channel is for. I'm going to talk about my situation with the Shadowboxer in a little bit of detail after this, but Shadowboxer and Bash. Now, hands up, the fight happened. No one thought it was going to happen. It happened. Fair play, mate. Shadowboxer mauled Bash. There's only one way to put it. And Shadowboxer brought out that video after, and he's crying, saying he could smell alcohol on Bash and all the rest of it. And loads of people have said, "Oh, you're faking it. It's crocodile tears." It's that Winston. Come on, mate, get out of the way. Trying to steal my porridge, the dog. Um, fucking distracted me, Winston, mate. You, what sort of co-host are you? Right. Anyway, um, my co-host is distracting me. Whereas, yes, so Bash brought that video out crying and that after, and I, everyone's saying it's fake, mate. I can understand it. Emotions are running high. You've just been put in a position where you could genuinely, seriously hurt someone. Obviously, very, very emotional after a big spike and adrenaline dump like that. And mate, Shadowboxer's not a fucking psychopath, is he? He's a man at the end of the day with emotions. And listen, he plays this character online. Um, he likes being a bad guy. He wants to be a heel. It's like WWE, but that wasn't Shadowboxer crying in that video. That was Paul Flaherty, the real person who was just put in a very, very dangerous situation and potentially could have seriously hurt someone. So there's nothing fake about that, in my opinion. You know, I might be wrong. In my opinion, there's nothing fake about that, and I get it. So Bash and Shadow come together. Shadow swings a massive, massive punch at Bash. Bash sort of rolls underneath it. They come together. Bash grabs Shadow. Um, they're sort of tangled up. This is seconds, by the way, seconds, literally. Bash starts trying to bite Shadow's head by the looks of things. Shadow slams him to the floor. 1, 2, 3, 4 punches thrown while they're on the floor. Can't have been more than 4 or 5 punches thrown. I think only 2 hit Sweet, and Bash is out cold, unconscious. And that's all she wrote. Shadow stops as soon as he sees that Bash is knocked out, which was the right thing to do, and I'm glad that he done that. And what have we learnt from this? Well, one, I think we've learned Shadow will actually have a fight. Fair play, and he's done the business. Like, you can't say so. He's knocked out Andy Goy now, and he bashed Bash badly. Listen, I'm under no illusion that Shadow can't fight. I don't think everyone says, "Oh, Shadow's this, Shadow's that, Shadow's a pussy," blah blah blah. Mate, Shadow's a big geezer. I've met him. 6'1", 6'2", and he must weigh about 17, 18 stone. He's a big, big lump. Thick bloke. He's a bit overweight, but he's thick and he looks strong. Do you know what I mean? He trained in Muay Thai for years. He lived in Thailand. I think he boxed as an amateur as well. Not like an elite amateur, but I think he trained and stuff when he was younger. Mate, he can obviously look after himself. He's not a professional fighter under any circumstances. Obviously, he's writing checks that his ass can't sign with Paul Venice, in my opinion, and stuff. I think Venice would bash him, and like Danny Christie and people like he's not in their league. Of course, he's not, but he obviously can fucking handle himself. Bash is not a big bloke. Bash is a middleweight, and Bash is in his mid-40s now. He must be. I'm not 100% about that, but he must be. He's lived a bad lifestyle. If you watch any podcasts with him, with drugs, and he hasn't looked after himself and all this, that, and the other. And he's taken a lot of damage over the years, a lot of damage. And I think the main thing that we've learned from this is, I would have told you this anyway, he probably shouldn't be taking shots to the head anymore. He probably shouldn't be fighting anymore. And I'm not trying to make anyone look stupid from this video, mate. Bash went out there to fight Shadow to defend some stuff that Shadow had said about his wife. which was well over the line and fucking bang out of order. So fair play to Bash for going out there by himself and having the fight, but Bash needs saving from himself at this point, I think. He's done so many good things in combat sports. He's given us so many entertaining moments and fights, and he was a world champion at one point years ago in K1, I believe. But now he's took too many punch shots to the head, mate. You like shut out when you've hit your limit of damage that you can take. Your brain gets the shock that when you were younger, before you've taken this amount of damage, you wouldn't get knocked out. It shuts off as a defense mechanism because of the amount of damage that you've taken over the years. And Bash has reached that limit. And that's why you see as fighters get older, high profile, people like Chuck Liddell got there in the end. It's like every time he got touched, he just was knocked out. David Price, like it happens to the best. And Bash is no different. And I really think that if I was him, enough's enough. It's very difficult because everyone fucking calls him out. Everyone draws him out. Everyone wants a piece of him because he does numbers and because he's a character and because he's got a lot of fans. But there we go. Yeah, so that's what happened. And fair play to Shadow Boxer. He had the fight. He got the job done. Really got the job done. Fair play to Bash. He went out there. He fucking fought. He's much bigger than him, and stuck up for his wife. He's a real fighting man, Bash. But I really hope that this is the last time we see Bash in one of these no rules fights, because if it was someone who was a bit more unhinged or a bit more dangerous or whatever, Bash could have got really badly hurt then. So yeah, I just hope this is the last boxing matches and stuff. Yeah, go on, crack on. Do you know what I mean? Celebrity boxing matches, make a bit of dough, Bash. Fair enough. Like, people want to see you still. But I think he should just crack on with the YouTube and do some commentary or do some podcasting and stuff. He's a really interesting geezer. He's funny. He's got loads going for him. He just doesn't need to be taking unprotected shots at the head like this anymore, and he's going to end up hurting himself. So it is what it is. Mine and Shadow Boxer's situation, right? So I've met Shadow Boxer. I spent some time with Shadow Boxer. Mac Bargraves is obviously one of the boys that I coach, and when Mac was doing the tours of the smaller bare knuckle shows around the UK and Europe, because he fought in Hungary, he obviously went out there to fight in Ireland as arranged by Shadow. We was all getting on well with Shadow. So we've gone out there because Shadow was arranging a fight with Mac against this JP, this 6'4" giant fella, who was a Muay Thai fighter. They were going to have an unlicensed. They were going to have a no rules boxing match on top of a cliff top where Shadow lives in Kerry, and mate, it would have been unbelievable if it could have happened. Where Shadow lives in Kerry is a beautiful, amazing place, right on the Atlantic Ocean, I believe it is. Them cliff tops and that, mate, it's unbelievable. So, and Shadow was filming one of his comedy series and stuff. That's what he does. He's an online I don't even think Shadow really wants to be a fighter. I think he wants to be like a promoter and a comedian, and do his online work and videos and stuff. And mate, he's funny. The episodes he does are funny. He's a character. He loves being this heel. He's invented this persona for himself, which is the Shadow Boxer. It's all an act. What people don't get is it is all an act. But sometimes he goes too far with the jokes. So anyway, we're out there. He was very accommodating, very pleasant bloke to speak to. We had a laugh. We done some Mac done some filming with him. We was present for it. Me and Connor and Connor's wife actually went out there because we was going to corner Mac, obviously, for his fight in Ireland, which never happened. So we had some food with with Shadow, and we spent the day with him, and really got on well with him. He's a very easy Paul is a very easy person to talk to and a very easy person to get on with. He's telling us some ideas about where he wants to go with his internet stuff and his YouTube channel and everything. And he's a very creative bloke. So anyway, Fight gets called off. No fault of anyone's. They couldn't make the fight. Someone didn't turn up. And then he got another fighter in, but they broke their hand. And he's on the phone trying to make the fight. Blah blah blah. Me, Connor, and Bree have gone right. Fuck this. Bree's Connor's wife. We're going to stay where we're going. He's getting on a bit now. We're knackered. We've been traveling all through the night and everything. And so we've got in the car. We've rented. We've gone back to the gaff. Got some sleep. Next day rolls around, Shadow phones up, fights on. Oh, so all systems go, we're going to go there. Fights off, oh, fuck it. Got to a couple of hours in, I thought, mate, fuck this. I thought, I'm going home, I've had enough. I'd been out there 2 days and I just had enough. No fight was happening. I was fucking knackered. I was in the same room with Connor and Bree. I felt like I was third wheeling a bit. And I see a flight home for like 80 quid or something, and I just thought, fuck this, mate. I'm going home. I missed my wife. I want my dogs. I'm fucking tired. No fights happening. I'm going. Come back, fights on. Booked a flight. No, we're not coming back. I'm going home. Fuck this. I'm going to Kerry Airport and going home. I didn't even fly from Kerry Airport. Can't think what airport I flew from. West Island Airport? East Island Airport? I can't remember anyway. So Connor's giving me a lift to the airport. In the meantime, Max fought Shadow. I don't know what to make of that fight. I don't know whether it was a glorified spar. I don't know whether Shadow took a dive. I know Mac was trying and going 100%. I know Shadow. Mac would have beaten Shadow in a boxing match. I don't know. Anyway, this is me being 100% truthful. Max dropped Shadow. Shadow's rolling around on the floor. Made it look good. He definitely made it look better than it was anyway. Because I highly doubt that shot that Mac hit him with knocked him out. It might have. It might have. I'm just saying. I'm just being 100% genuine and truthful and saying it was involved in a time when they were making a comedy show and Shadow was trying to promote Mac and everything else. So yeah, I'm gone home. That's gone out. Max got loads and loads. Listen, Shadow really, really helped Mac out at the beginning and helped us getting out there on the map, on the bare knuckle scene. So I'm not mugging him off. Fight's gone out. Max got a load of attention off the back of it, and Mac ends up on the BKFC now. BKFC won't touch Shadow Box with a barge pole. Whatever beef Andrew Bakewell and the BKFC have got with Shadow Boxer, I'm not actually 100%, but I know that because of Shadow Boxer's involvement, it messed up Jimmy Justice's chances of going back on the BKFC. There was a big set to about Shadow not being allowed at the show, and it all got a bit political. So we wanted to make it very clear, look, Shadow's not a part of our management and he's not part of our team. We were grateful for what he had done on getting us a platform, getting Mac a platform, but he weren't part of our team. He's not involved with us in that way. And we didn't want it messing Mac's chances up of continuing with the BKFC journey, because that was our target from the beginning, to get Mac on the BKFC and show what he can do, because he's good enough to be a fucking world champion. This kid's special, and we shouldn't have to be worried that being involved with Shadow is going to mess Mac or our chances up of getting to the pinnacle of where we should be. Do you know what I mean? That's how I felt anyway. So Shadow's then, after Mac's first BKFC fight, Shadow's released a video. It was a live during the fight, and he's on live and he's saying that he coaches Mac and he's had Mac since he was a junior and blah, 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 all the rest of it. And listen, I know he was joking, but, well, not joke, but this was in character and it was all part of his stick and that. I get that it's all part of his gimmick. I get that. But a lot of people don't get that. And he's got 100,000 subs on YouTube. And the video had got quite a few views on live. So I had to... Firstly, I was quite annoyed because I thought people are going to believe this, that Shadow coaches him, and we're not going to get any credit for it. Not that I've got main character syndrome. As a coach, you're not the main character. Do you know what I mean? It's all about the fighter, and I get that. But at the same time, I don't want someone taking credit for my blood, sweat, and tears, and my hard work, and my work that I've done in the gym, and Connor, of course. Connor more so than me. Listen, Connor's the main. Connor's the head coach at CG Fitness. I'm under no illusion I am something that I'm not. I do the game plans and the tactics. Connor does the fitness and the motivation. We all discuss everything. We're all a team. It's CG Fitness. Do you know what I mean? So, but I just didn't want people thinking that Shadow had actually coached Max and had him Mac and had him since he was a junior. I said Max because my mate Max picking me up for fucking Max is picking me up for boxing in a minute. Um, Taking credit for our hard work, and I know that he's got a big corner of the YouTube thing, and I know that he's got people believe what he says, regardless of whether he's fucking in gimmick and in character and it's WWE or not. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you watched an interview with Hulk Hogan and he's saying all this mad stuff he says about how he was a Make a Wish fella with Michael Jackson and all this, and he worked 400 days in a year because he was flying to and from Japan. People watch this and then they say Hulk Hogan's full of shit, mate. He's not full of shit. He's a character. He's not. This is not Terry Bollea talking. This is Hulk Hogan. He's a superhero. So Shadowboxer and Paul Flaherty are two different geezers. When you see videos of Shadowboxer, I would say 99.9999% of the time, you are not seeing a real person. You're seeing Paul. You're not seeing Paul Flaherty. You're seeing Shadowboxer. You're seeing a character. Just like Chael Sonnen's another one. He's a gimmick. He's a character. He's the bad guy. Do you know what I mean? So, and Shadow's a heel and he loves it. I just didn't want people. No, sorry, I'm going off the subject. I didn't want people thinking that Shadow had coached Mac and all the rest of it and taking our credit away from it. And I also was worried that the BKFC would see that and fucking it would mess his next opportunity up. Do you know, mess our next opportunity up? Do you know what I mean? Because at the minute we're not even getting paid for this at the minute, or we are, but it's pittance. You know, there's money at the top of the sport, and Mac's well good enough to go to the top of the sport, and it's not only ruining our dreams, it's potentially ruining our livelihood. Do you know what I mean? So that was that. I've done a video saying I've took offence to it, blah blah blah. We all did, and we knew it was a gimmick. We knew the score, but it had to be cleared up. Shadow has come back to me saying, "Oh, I want to speak to you." Blah blah blah. At the time, I was quite annoyed. I said, "There's nothing to talk about." And looking back, I know probably what Shadow was going to say, that this is all it's in gimmick and I'm taking it the wrong way or whatever. But at the same time, I just didn't want to talk about it at the time. I was a bit annoyed about it because I thought, yeah, fair enough, it's all well and good, but there should be a line, there should be a limit. Do you know what I mean? The same thing with all this stuff he's been saying about Bash's misses and all that, and he says some deep, dark, dangerous stuff, and it's over the line sometimes. Do you know what I mean? But he doesn't realise where the line is, I don't think, or he just doesn't give monkeys. He thinks any publicity is good publicity, and he'll say what he wants, and if he wants to do that, that's fine. But you're going to have to understand that people are going to get fucking pissed off sometimes. So next day, some the fella with the BYB champion was supposed to be fighting. I can't think of the fella's name. Spider, they call him. He's got like cobweb tattoos on his face. So him and Shadow are having a bit of back and forth because he was then apparently supposed to be fighting Shadow in the Pit of Doom. And I've dropped a comment. Obviously, I had a little bit of the ump, but I was making a joke, just saying, "Oh, Shadow ain't gonna fight you." And even if what Spider couldn't fight in bare knuckle because of his contract with BYB, he had to wear gloves, and Shadow's calling him a pussy and all this because he had to fight in gloves. And I've made a comment on there saying, mate, like, you can't expect him to break an obligation in a contract to fight you on thingy. You were happy to fight Mac in gloves and your arsehole fell out or blah, blah, blah. I just mugged them off a little bit, mate. Like, obviously, but it was only a joke. But it was like half joke, half I was a bit annoyed. And he's fucking hit the roof about this. He's messaging me, telling me he's going to get people to come to my house and kill me. And he's got an army of Irishmen in England and all this, that, and the other. Bearing in mind, a couple of my best friends are Irish and they're on job as well. So, come on, mate. All Shadow knows of me is just some little fella that's Mac's mate. He don't know nothing about me. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't know who I know. Everyone knows people. Anyway, so I was laughing though at this point. I knew he had probably had a few Guinnesses. He's lost his head. So he got the reaction that he wanted, and I got the reaction that I wanted because I was baiting him. Do you know what I mean? And when you see someone get very, very angry, it's quite funny sometimes. And he's blocked me and all the rest of it now. And that's fine, you know. But I wanted to clear the whole situation up. So I don't want people to think I'm coming out making a video about him fucking mugging him off and all the rest of it, because I'm not. I don't want to be jumping on the hype train and everyone's cunting him off at the minute. And, you know, it is what it is. I'm not trying to piggyback off it, causing beef that ain't real. So, yeah. He's blocked me, and I think he's blocked Mac, to be honest. And, but the moral of the story is here. He's done what he said he was going to do, and he had that fight with Bash. And hopefully he gets a bit of the credit he deserves from this, because he done what he said he was going to, and he showed up and he fucking done the business. So fair play. I will not discredit him. Hands up. I've seen a video of someone saying that that was fucking scripted, the fight. Mate, what? It's fucking what you want about scripted? If you think if you genuinely believe that you think that that fight was not real, you need your head tested, mate. Because it was as fucking real as it comes. You can't, mate. Yeah, mate. Bash's nose was broke and he was unconscious. You don't fake a broken nose. But yeah, it's a good watch, entertaining. The whole build-up's been very entertaining. Shadow Boxer is entertaining, comedy gold. Yeah, and that was our fallout anyway. So that's that situation all done now. I don't know who he's got in line next. I know he's falling out with Jimmy Justice. And I think he's falling out with Paddy Conroy as well. It was them two were thick as thieves, weren't they? They was like proper buddies. But yeah, I'll tell you what though, there's a very he's not involved in the combat sports scene. He is a very, very dangerous man. His name's Farid Khan. He's an MMA fighter, martial arts master. Very, very dangerous individual, and I know that he's got the ump with Shadow about a few things, because he's obviously a friend of mine and Max. So I think Shadow's got the arse about him siding with us in the whole altercation. So, mate, if listen, I've got no problems with Shadow at all. I don't want any problems with anyone. I just want to concentrate with my coaching and my YouTube now and everything, and just cracking on. I'm a family man. Do you know what I mean? But fucking, if Shadow has actually got Farid on him, mate, I would be very, very careful. That's all I'm going to say on that. Like, thanks for watching anyway. That's my thoughts on the Shadow Boxer Bash situation. And I'm going to be back again today with another video this afternoon. So stay locked. We're going to get very, very active on this channel at the minute. Like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. Write down in that comment section if you think that fight was fake, if you think it was real. Any comments, any thoughts, let me know. Thank you very much, people. Adios.